Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a little more Vanilla Plus, Serene Craft Vanilla Plus, as I am basically calling it. Just gonna put down some more of this version of the flax. Really, I need to set things up so that there's multiple, so that there's more farm. But I haven't. So that said, I've not done anything since the last episode because I finished recording that and I went to bed because I was tired as frick, as I have been for some random reason lately. And then I came back, did some other things, and now I'm back on Minecraft. Literally, I really haven't done anything. So, aside from figure out that I had, almost 2 full stacks of wheat in here that I just completely missed. So, I did make a shield. Truthfully, I did make a shield. So, that's nice. I also made a hoe. I have this chest over here, by the way. That is all of the blueprints for now, since we don't have the resources to make a book. But since we now have an iron pickaxe, it should be time to go back down into the mine. And we can get some better stuff out of our mine. So, just gonna light up a little bit of this. Yeah, just like that. That's fine. Just so that I'm sure that there aren't mobs spawning in, this area. So, I hope that all of you have been enjoying the series so far. I have no way to know at time of recording because I haven't even aired any of the episodes yet. So this is episode 3 that I'm doing, and none of the episodes have come out. I think the day that I'm recording this, I think 1 episode is coming out. Boom! So I'll have a better idea after that of how people, what people think of the series. But it's still not going to be, I'm still not going to know how people liked, both episodes until both episodes are out. So, but yeah, like I said, I hope that people have been enjoying. I don't know if anybody has any of my viewers have any real interest in Minecraft. I've done a few Minecraft series, a few modded series. I don't think they go particularly well, but I keep trying just because I like to play sometimes. Not all the time. I do prefer playing modded. If I'm gonna play, Minecraft at all, really. I could not remember where my freaking hole was. In case you're wondering, that was me searching for where I put the freaking hole. So, Well, we've got some resources. Hopefully this isn't going to make anybody too dizzy. I'll try kind of doing it this way to get down, so I'm not spinning too much. So there we go. Now, one of the nice things about having iron tools is that iron tools are magnetic. Or iron technically is magnetic. Which allows me to be able to get stuff. You know, magnet in things that fall, things that drop. So, it is kind of nice. Well, I will gladly take all of that. Because I definitely need prosperity ore. Or prosperity shards, rather. Will this lead me to... Well, it led me to lapis. That wasn't what I was trying to go for. I was wondering if it would lead me into, like, this section that's over here. I might actually have to go further, like, a little further down for that. But I'll just go this way a little bit and see how things open up once we get over here. One mod that I found that I really wasn't sure about was a mod that makes deep slate, and its equivalent ores. Equivalent to mining stone. And considering that that's like deep slate's whole thing, I'm not sure I like the idea of that mod. So I haven't included it. I don't know, it just seems like that's the point of deep slate, right? Is that it's deep down in the earth. You know, deeper down. It takes longer to mine. And so you have to be a little more careful. But, and I think no matter what, like, well, what's the old statement? Like, we're good at, like, taking the fun out of everything. And I can see where somebody would be like, well, it's not fun to just have to sit there and dig a little extra, like, you know, to dig longer. And I do get that. But also, I mean, I don't get that. So, but yeah, humans are really good at, like, taking something that's meant to be fun and then being like, well, how can we make it more efficient? And take all, you know, end up taking all of the fun out of it just because we like things to be more efficient. So, and maybe that's true about me as well. Maybe I don't like certain difficulties. You know, I've mentioned, like, people always say, like, well, Serene, you just don't like difficulty. And maybe it's true that I would take a lot of the difficulty out of things because of efficiency. I'd like to think that that's not the reason. Again, my view is not that difficulty is bad. It's that the more like unfair difficulty is bad. The problem is that whenever I say like I don't like unfair difficulty, then somebody is like, well, what qualifies as unfair difficulty? And my answer is, like, the answer I usually give is that it is more or less a case-by-case thing. But really, though, like, if it's an RPG or, like, a game that you die in, if one level, one part of the game, and I want to clarify this, like, the entire game, but if one part of the game takes you, 100 deaths to clear, then is that really fair? And some would say yes, and that's fun. And it's like, well, you get better each time. And I think it's funny because a lot of people will point to, the NES, Super Nintendo era of games, and be like, well, there's certain games that you like there, and not everybody is, good at those games. You just are. And, the average person would die like 100 times in that section, Like, if you've ever seen me play through Mario World, I'm pretty decent at it, right? Not great, but I'm pretty decent at it, I would like to think. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm amazing at it, because I don't even think that I'm that great at it. I think I'm pretty, standard, but then people will be like, but you like Mario World, and when I play Mario World, that, I sit there and die like 100 times on a level. And it's like, see, I do get that. And maybe it's because in that case, I grew up on Mario World, so I'm just good at Mario World. And so maybe its difficulty doesn't bother me as much. Really still am trying to get over that. Trying to break my habit of constantly saying, it's just not the easiest thing to do. So, should I put a counter in the video? I mean, obviously that would require editing. And frick, if I keep trying to do editing and I keep learning stuff and enjoying it at the time, but if it then takes me longer than like an hour to do the editing, I'm just like bleh, and I get tired of it and I want to stop doing it, and then I usually do stop doing it. Like, I have a couple of videos that I completed. Like, I recorded, and I'm going, in the video, I'm like, I'm recording this in this way because I want to do editing for it. And then I just stare at the video like, if I want to ever release that, I've got to do the editing, because otherwise it's a 3-hour video. And then I'm just like, I don't want to do that. And then I don't. So, I don't know what to do about that, honestly. I do understand that if I ever want to take doing YouTube seriously, I do have to do the editing. But it takes so long. It's so dull. And I just hate everything about it, really. So, that's just it. I just hate everything about, like, editing. Sorry. And the funny thing is I know that I would have no issues editing somebody else's videos, because of course as you're editing, you're getting a chance to watch a video, you know, and so, like, for me, that would be great. It's like, yeah, I'm sitting here watching a, you know, YouTuber do a video, and in the process I'm doing the editing and things, and I've done editing for a couple of, like, small YouTube channels that then promptly didn't use any of what I edited because they didn't like it. And some of that is that it was like they were like, well, say, you know, show me what you can do. And I was like, okay. So then I did it, and they were like, well, it's not terrible. I'm like, okay. And then they're like, but it's not really what I'm looking for. I'm just like, well, could you tell me what you're looking for? You know, maybe I can learn the things that you want done, you know. I did what I know. In fact, one time doing one of them, I actually learned even more. I learned more about editing than I had ever known. And I was like, I'm really enjoying this. This is really fun. You know, I'm learning a lot of stuff. And I definitely love to keep doing this. Just let me know what it is you would like me to do. I'll figure it out. And then they were like, well, that's fine. And then, like, that was it. It was like, and part of me suspects that there might have been some aspect of, like, even they didn't really know what they wanted, just because they weren't really willing to even tell me what they wanted. So I was just like, okay, that's fine, I guess. If you don't want me to do it, that's fine. I have no problem with that. If you like what I've done, but it's not up to what you want, by all means, just let me know what it is you want. And they just refused. So I was like, oh, okay, well, sure, I'm going. I really don't think they're gonna find anybody that can do the editing they want unless they're willing to tell them what they want. But it is what it is. So, and obviously I'm not saying names because I don't want to call anybody out or have anybody be like, you know, go to their channel and be like, you did that, you know. I'm like, no, that's that is what they did, but I don't need people to like defend me by going to other YouTubers that have no real interest in me. um, so it's like I really don't need then that's one thing I really hate. I know it's an internet thing that people like their YouTuber and then their YouTuber gets into something or says something and then the fans all rush out and try to boycott or whatever. I don't need that. I really don't need that at all. And so I will not say any names or anything like that because I think that yes, that was clearly maybe not what they should have done for looking for an editor. However, I still think they're a pretty cool person. Regardless of how they feel about me. So, but that's neither here nor there, I suppose. That's just extra gobbledygook, I believe is how you would say it. Gobbledygook. But this will give me some prosperity. So now I can also start looking into making mystical agriculture seeds. Now, the ones that I need, things like iron and stuff like that, are not ones that I'll be able to get right away because I'm going to have nowhere near enough inferium. Also, I have no diamonds. So I can't even make the infusion crystal to upgrade past inferium yet. But it gives me the ability to get started at least with mystical agriculture. And maybe things can get, maybe I can progress further eventually once I was wondering if maybe the sword would break it without spawning anything, but it did not. So I need to look into the mod Project Red and see if I can't find out find out if it's abandoned or something. It's one of those mods that just hasn't updated beyond the I think it was 1.16 that was their last update, which is really sad just because it's one of my favorite mods. I really, really like the mod, but unfortunately it just hasn't updated. And so I'm going, maybe I should look into why it, see if I can find out why it hasn't updated. Maybe it's abandoned and thus will never update. Maybe the devs just don't have time. Not much that I can do if that is the case. It's just Astral Sorcery is one of my other favorite mods. And the dev of that has mentioned multiple times that as much as he wants to work on getting it updated, he just does not have the time. And I completely understand that. So it's one of those, I wish that I just had infinite money. I mean, I'm sure everybody wishes they had infinite money, right? But, like, I wish I had, if not infinite money, I wish that I had money that I could be like, hey, you're one of my favorite mods. Let me make it your job to, like, keep this mod updated. There I go again. Just cause that's what I would like to do. Get all of the mods that I really enjoy and be like, hey, can I either buy the rights for the mod and then update it, or can I, like, pay you to update it? Like, that's what I would prefer, to be fully honest. Like, I know I said it kind of backwards there, but my first thing would actually be like, can I hire you to update your mod? I've actually talked to a couple of mod devs before about the idea, back when I had money. But unfortunately that never worked out because I didn't have enough money. One of the devs that I talked to, they wanted, like, was it like 10,000 or something like that? Because they were having to update from 1.12 all the way up to 1.16. So they were like, I'm gonna have to basically rewrite all the code and, like, redo everything. And we were talked, and it was something like 10,000 to do it. And I was like, man, I would 100% pay that if I had that, because I think it's worth it, And I know that immediately when, as I say that, somebody's going to be like, oh, they wanted $10,000 to work on a mod. I'm like, yes, they wanted, first off, they basically, the problem that they were having was that was their income, was mods. At the time. And so it was like, I can dedicate 100% of my time to getting this mod updated. Absolutely. But I have family. They have to eat, live, so on. And the mods the mods they were making as it was were already, like, barely making ends meet kind of thing. Just because CurseForge basically doesn't actually pay anything to mod developers. Mod developers get, like, half of a penny per download. And so that's like, what, 200 or so downloads just to make $1 kind of thing. So it is not a lot, and it really sucks. And that's why a lot of mods, while they do post on CurseForge, they usually have Patreons. Because it's like, yes, I need more than what CurseForge is willing to pay if I'm going to, make this a full-time thing. And it really sucks that is the case. But it's still, like... And you have to realize that not only do they have to make X amount of money in just a month you know, to make ends meet, I guess. Would be the best way to word it. You know, if they're gonna put all of their time into it, some of these mod developers, like Mine Colonies, they have like Twilight Forest. They have entire like dev teams of people who that entire dev team does that as their actual like career. And so even if they're getting 1,000 downloads, $10, or even even if they were getting a full like dollar for every 100 downloads, a full penny every download, basically. The 100 downloads is only $1. Somebody has to download the mod 1,000 times in that month just for them to get $10. And sure, the inclusion of mods into mod packs helps with that, because every time somebody downloads a mod pack, that is a download for their mod. Ooh, diamonds. Is it just one? Ooh, it's two. It's three. It's three. I like that I went from being, like, excited that it was three to disappointed. That was actually really funny. I was like, ooh, it's three! Oh, it's only three. Well, frick. But yeah, like, it's ridiculous getting into modding and, like, doing that. Trying to do that as, like, any kind of job. Career. Because they have to make a career out of it in order for, constantly keeping these mods up to date to be worth it. Think of some of the craziest mods out there. Create, for example. Twilight Forest. Not exactly a crazy mod, but it's one of the big mods. Everybody knows Twilight Forest, right? But then think about how many mods have vanished. When was the last time Erebus got an update? When was the last time that Thaumcraft got an update? By the original dev, especially. Because I believe, and don't quote me on this, I believe there was a point where another person had taken over development of Thaumcraft. And they've stopped updating that. They've stopped development of it. And it's just all of these mods that we enjoy playing and kind of honestly take for granted end up just they end up just not having enough downloads by people, and so then they literally have no choice. They're just like, I can't live off of this. I can do it for fun. I can make this mod for fun, but the amount of work that is required to update the mod to an entirely different version of Minecraft that has had major changes and broken half of the mod, like, They can't just do that for fun, because by the time they get that done, there's going to be 3 other versions of Minecraft that have come out since. So, and it sucks. Like, it really sucks that that's the truth, but it really is the truth. Uh, 4 points. I can get to plus 0.1% or plus 0.02 fortune. So, I now have 0.2 fortune. Not even 1 fortune. 0.2 fortune. Which probably means we're not actually going to be seeing any fortune effects for a very long time, even with that. But, still, you never know. We didn't have any there, so... Alright. I am running out of space in my backpack, which is fine, because I do kind of need to upgrade the backpack anyway at some point. So, but like we take all of these mods for granted just because they're big popular mods. They're mods that everybody enjoys. So, of course, it just stands to reason that those mods will always be around. But there's always the possibility that a dev... Heck, it doesn't even have to be that they decide to stop working on it due to financial. They might not be working on it anymore just because they've gotten bored of modding. Some people, some mod devs, have stopped working on their mods because they got hired into, like, legitimate game dev studios. And that was the whole reason they got into modding to begin with, was, hey, you know, this is something I can do that could be fun, that also will teach me the skills for real life work. And then they got into real life work. So, I am out of torches, and I have no more sticks or wood. So, this might be the point where I have no choice but to start making my way back. Let's see. But that's the thing, right? We don't truly know. Sorry. I'm having sinus issues today. I've been having sinus issues like all day. But yeah, like we don't know. Even though Minecraft will, honestly, more than likely, always exist in some fashion, we don't know when the mod that we enjoy the most will vanish, you know? So, It's always nice to appreciate the things that we have. I know. You know, appreciate what you have now because you never know when it's gonna, you know, you never know how long you're gonna have it for. But it really, like, I know it's so cliche and everybody says it, but it's because that really is the case. Everybody will always say that because that's the truth of the matter, is that we just don't know how long we have something. And here's the thing. I don't know what has happened with a friend that I had or have. Because they live up in Canada where there was a bunch of really bad stuff going on, you know, fires and things like that. I don't know where they live, and I don't know where the fires were in relation to where they live, and I haven't seen that person in literally 4 months now. And that concerns me because, like, I am legitimately worried that something has happened to them. But I have absolutely no way of finding out. And even if I did find out that something happened to them, like, what am I going to do about it? You know, if they're gone, then that's that, right? So it really is a matter of just you have to appreciate what you have when you have it, because you never know. Tomorrow could be the day when you lose all of the things that you currently enjoy. But also, hi, that's a Reaper. That's the thing. Remember that thing that we saw, and I was like, what the frick is that? Apparently it's that thing. Soul Sand. Okay. Don't mind if I do, since I haven't gotten to the Nether yet, nor do I have a way to get to the Nether, because I don't have a diamond pick yet. So no obsidian. I'm completely lost at this point. But I don't know, and that's the thing. Again, people are gonna say, like, ooh, that's such a cliche thing to say. Everybody says that. But also, and this is, you know, this is another cliche thing that everybody says, which is, you never really, oh, hey, I'm right here. You never fully realize what you have until you don't have it. And it's 100% true. And again, I know, that's such a cliche thing to say. You never know. You never realize you never realize what you have until you don't have it anymore. But it's, like, I know that these things are, you know, cliche, but they're also true. So, it's like saying it would be cliche, you know, it would be like saying, my brain, I knew exactly what I was going to say, and then my brain was just like, nope. I'm not going to actually hold that in my memory, so I was just like, really, brain? Come on. Like, I was literally about to open my mouth and say what you were thinking, and then immediately you just said no. I hate that so much when that happens. What is it? Newton's third law? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And it's like, yeah, it would be cliche to say that, but it's also true. So, there are of course people who think that you will eventually reach a state where we can always just make good decisions and everything will always be good. But I'm going, really, that's never feasible, because no matter what you do, there is a negative that comes from it, whether small or large. You know, sometimes the negative of giving somebody $5 is just that now you don't have $5. But sometimes to do the right thing, sometimes it's that cliche of, was the villain actually the hero all along? And I don't know, those are the villains I like. The ones where after the story is done, you kind of sit back and you go, okay, but hear me out. What if they weren't the villain? What if Mario is actually the villain? And Koopa, Bowser, whichever way you want to say his name, is actually the hero. How about that, you know? And I really like that trope. Was the hero actually the hero trope? Because there's always going to be somebody that agrees with the villain. Otherwise they wouldn't have an army, you know. Final Fantasy XIV, let's say. The Garleans were the villains up until Endwalker. Spoilers if you haven't gotten that far. They're not the bad guys anymore. But, like, they wouldn't have an army. There wouldn't be the Garlean Empire if somebody didn't believe that they were right. And honestly, and that's kind of the thing also that I kind of felt in Final Fantasy XIV was they always made it about what's the right way to word it? They never made it about hero versus villain. Especially in Shadowbringers. It wasn't so much that the villain of Shadowbringers was the villain. It's that the villain of Shadowbringers, the antagonist, if you will, believed they were right and that they were doing the right thing. And truly, though you do defeat them, spoilers, I don't think that really counts, because hello, of course we do. But even though you win, there is always that question of, what if you hadn't? Could perhaps they have been correct? I mean, they basically answer that in Endwalker, of course, but for, you know, a year and a half, 2 years, they left you with that question of, did we really actually do the right thing? And honestly, I think that that's another thing. I really dislike villains that are villains just because they're evil. I don't believe for a second that there has ever been a person in history that has ever done wrong because they knew they were doing wrong and they just wanted to be evil. I think that regardless of their views, you know, regardless of what we would call them, I think that they truly did believe that they were the good guys, that they were in the right. So, some of the greatest wars that have ever been fought in the history that I know of were a matter of they believed they were right. You know, World War II was fought because the Nazis truly believed that what they were doing was right. And if you start looking at the beliefs that they had, if you start looking at the way they acted, they truly did believe not only that they were doing right, but some of them believed that they were doing what their deity... here's a fun fact if you're not aware. Some of, not all, but some of the Nazi leaders were Christians. And they truly did believe that what they were doing was not only right, but that the deity that they believed in had set them on that path to do what they did. And today we would even say, well, they were very obviously wrong, right? But we can only say that because we've had years and years since those events. I know some family who truly believes that the president of the last president of the United States was not only good, I don't, but they not only believed that he was good, but that everything he was doing was right and good. And it's like, no, not at all. But unfortunately, even we can't even truly say no, not at all. Because we don't have the years since to prove it. You know, was the invention of the computer a good thing? I mean, we like to think it was. And it's true that as we look at our current day and age, these have not grown over 3. It's true that in our current day and age, we can look and see that a lot of good has come from computers and internet. People able to do things that were you couldn't have even imagined back then. We're able to interact with people on the other side of the world. But even so, can we truly say that our society was truly bettered by it? Is it not possible that without the internet, something else could have come along that perhaps was better for humanity as a whole? It's a thought. It's a thought. It's a thing to think about. How do we, what's the statement people like to say? Truly, we are in the worst timeline. But how do we know that we're not? I know I'm getting really existential here. And so I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are like, hopefully nobody's freaking out too badly. Apologies if you are. I don't mean to cause you existential dread. But still, how do we know that we are living in the best timeline? Perhaps there is a timeline where the Super Mario movie, not the current one, but the one that came out before that, was good. I know that that's hard to imagine, but we don't know. The one with Bob Hopkins and what was the other guy's name? I'm trying to remember who did Luigi, but I can't for the life of me remember. But still, how do we know that this truly is the best timeline? How do we know that we aren't missing out because in another timeline there is the even better Super Mario Brothers movie, or the sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie? That is not how you do that. Upgrade kit, or not, repair kit. This one. That costs a whole diamond. I forgot. I'm not gonna make that then. I completely forgot that cost one full diamond. I only have 3 at the moment, so I would rather not do that right now. Maybe when we get more diamonds. But for now, I think I'm okay with not doing that. Let's see. I know that we now have gold. I'm tempted to make some iron chests. Just because they are useful. But I don't know. Smithing template. Coding smithing template. Oh, interesting. To do. Very interesting. So they're incorporating the same idea. They took a look at the netherite thing and went, we should do basically the same thing to keep balance. So that's cool. I actually kind of like that they did that. Let's do this. Let's make some barrels, specifically of the sophisticated storage style. Let's see. Limited barrels. Limited barrel. Let's make some limited barrels. So these are basically drawers. I don't know if there's a controller for these. I imagine there's something. I imagine that there's some kind of controller system for it, or maybe they just expect you to use, well, no, because this is a different mod. I was going to say, maybe they just expect you to use sophisticated storage, but no, this is simple storage. So yeah, I don't know if there's like a controller block. Allows you to deposit and pipe items to and from a connected multi-block of storages. Yes. There is a storage controller. That does require getting quartz, though, which is none too surprising, unfortunately. So let's do this. Let's get some limited barrels of, I mean, I guess we're looking for oak, right? So I need to make redstone torches. Let's see. Got a couple of oak slabs, but I'm gonna need more than just that. I have a few more planks. I'm trying to see if I have any more willow wood. I have 3. That's unfortunate. Because I was going to use those for sticks. Just so that I could get rid of the, like, green wood. But it is what it is for now, I guess. So it's something akin to this. There we go. Ooh, that makes 1. Yeah, storage drawers would have given me 4 for that. I don't like the fact that it only gives me 1. I mean, it is what it is. So, let's see. Does this tell me... I was trying to see if it would tell me how much the drawer could hold. It did on the tooltip, but I missed to actually read it before I set it down. So... well, let's make more slabs. Just a few more slabs. And we'll grab like 30 of these. And split them up. Like so. That's unfortunate. I'm gonna need more torches, actually, in order to do any more of that. 8 times base stack. Okay, so standard, like, storage drawer amount, more or less. Okay, that's fine. I just need more sticks. And it didn't really want to use a wood that I was working with for other things. Oh wait, I have willow logs. So let's do that. We'll turn those into planks. Turn those into sticks. And then now we have a lot of sticks. Way more than I meant to make. But it's fine. And we'll just make a few of these barrels this way. The main issue is that I don't exactly have a lot of space. You can still get into that. Okay. I don't have a lot of space in this house. And I do still want to go about, like, moving somewhere else eventually. I don't really want to consider this like my permanent residence yet. Just because like there's stuff like the cherry blossom biomes and stuff that we haven't been to yet. So I'd rather not claim this as like a permanent residence. But it does give me a spot to put some stuff for now, such as my logs, my ores. Those can go there. In fact, I'll put the iron over here, even. And then I can put emeralds over here. I can put diamonds over there. I don't think I even have any copper bars. Oh, I have a bunch more redstone over there. Okay. Let's just do like that for now. And then we'll try to at least get our copper in here. And then that'll at least clear up some space to a degree. So where did I put the slabs? That's the question. Where did I put the oak slabs? Didn't use them all. No, I didn't. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I didn't use all of them. Oops. Hang on. I need the redstone torches. Which I also put in here. Yes. This is how we make limited single slot barrels. And these, because they're so much bigger, can be used to store things like gravel and dirt, cobblestone, that sort of thing, which I am surprised I don't have vastly more amounts of, if I can be honest. Usually I have freaking dirt and stone and gravel up the freaking, like, up to my ears, but I apparently don't. So also, obviously, I could be doing all of this off camera. And I'm sure I more than likely will do serious, like, organizing and building of stuff further off camera. But I just kind of wanted to get the basic idea of what I'm doing here down. And then, you know, we can go from there at a later point. So, ooh, iron ingots. Let me put those away. But yeah, for the most part, that's kind of what I want to do is just set up, you know, barrels of stuff for all the different types of major things that I have on hand. And then from there, we can worry about, you know, more another time. Put all of my seeds into this drawer just to make it easier. There was some lapis there. So, but yeah, I think this is going well. There is packaging tape, paper and slime ball, and if this does what I assume it does, it will allow me to put packing tape on the barrels, and I can just hoist them up, you know, full on. And so I won't have to like take stuff out of the barrels. So definitely easier for moving than, you know, having all these chests. So let's see. Copper. What can copper do? I can make copper chests. Copper shulker boxes. I can use it to make a bracelet, blueprint / template. I can make a turntable, lightning rod, a copper gear. I don't know what that would even be for. Oh yeah, I'll need a brush eventually, I suppose. Can make some bronze. I guess you can make tools out of it. Though I'm not entirely sure how good said tools would be. So, I also don't know. Iron gear makes a wrench, makes a gold gear, makes a diamond gear, makes a netherite gear. Doesn't look like gears are used for anything. So let's not make gears in that case. That seems like a good idea to just not make gears since they don't seem to be used for anything. So, but yeah, I think that will be good for now. So, we'll figure out what more we can use our resources for as we kind of go along here. Definitely want more coal for the next time we go mining. Speaking of... Nope, no new knowledge of death. I do have 1 point of combat. So... I'm kind of avoiding the +5 jumps at the moment. In case you're wondering, I'm kind of trying to like avoid those to a degree. Just because I don't know if I want the extra jump. At some point I might have to, but like, if I can go around, right? Like, I can get melee damage, range damage, and then stamina. and then luck, and then movement speed, without having to hit the plus 5% jump that's there, so. Meanwhile, literally everything here is just mining speed. Oh boy. I mean, I wish I had some other idea of what could be added. I assume that there's 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's more. There's 16. Because there's 8 all the way, half circle. So there's 16. So I can get, what, 1.6 fortune? Once I have all of the mining speed in the world increased. So, not terrible, technically. So, these are good for adornments. They give extra health. I don't know that we need that, honestly. Sapphires are worthless completely, it seems. Rubies have Imperial. Sometimes increases gem drops when mining. These are only diamond level, though. And we're looking for, what, obsidian level? So, because diamond level means that it can mine diamond. It doesn't mean that they are equivalent to diamond. It means that they can mine diamond. So, if I take these out. Yeah, see, obsidian. Problem is that this is brittle, which means that it breaks very fast. So, not something I would particularly like to put on a pick. So, there is a, there is a material, I just don't remember what it is, that is equivalent to diamonds. So, it might be crimson iron, though, come to think of it. And if so, that requires us to get to the nether to get that, to which then, you might say, well, how do you get to the nether so that you can get that? And yeah, I mean, there's ways of getting to the nether without doing anything, or without needing, diamond tools. But it's definitely something that we'll have to consider. So, apparently the coding smithing template does exist. It's just this, the standard smithing template. They just don't have a graphic for it yet, so. But that's fine. I'm not in any rush for that, so. Well, I think this is a good spot to end things off for now. So I hope that you have enjoyed. If you have, feel free to subscribe. Our sugarcane seems to have reached a maximum, which I'm a little confused by. I might have to go into the configurable sugarcane height and configure it. I kind of figured it was auto-configured to begin with, but maybe it's not. So I might have to configure the configurable sugarcane height to make it higher. The important thing is we now have plenty of sugarcane, so we have plenty of paper. Or rather, we can make plenty of paper. And paper equals blueprint. And blueprint paper equals more cool gear that we can make with silent gear. So I am excited, especially since we have 30 blueprint paper. In fact, let's do this. Let's do this to get the bracelet blueprint, and this to get the ring blueprint. Can't currently use them as we don't have the ability to make adornments. I could make jeweler's tools, but it will use one of our diamonds. And so I think I want to wait till we have more, but I'll think about it before going and doing that. So, I don't know what grips do. Really, it looks like it's mostly just adding flexible. Which, if I were to take the wood out of my tools, I would need in order to keep that flexible. So, but right now I'm okay with what we have. Yeah, this adds bending. Gear sometimes takes extra damage. Don't want to add that as a tool rod. You know, don't want to replace the tool rod with that. So we do have this, which is also adds flexible 2 and magnetic 3, which is more than what we have. So I mean, I guess that technically wouldn't be a bad thing to do, actually. Come to think of it. Because that's just going to make it better. Just in general. It's going to make all of our tools slightly better. So, interestingly enough, this wooden tool rod can't make anything. It doesn't count as like sticks or anything. So, bye-bye. I'm polluting the ocean with all of this crap. But what can you do? So, ooh, bones actually give 1.2 attack damage. And they're flexible too. So, that's interesting. But now we have magnetic 3 on all of our stuff. And I'm okay with that. Because that means more magnetism. Anyway, I was trying to do the outro. And then I promptly did not do the outro. I mean, my Patreon people aren't gonna mind, that's for sure, because they're gonna get a nice long spot on the list, or on the video, so, but yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed. If you did, feel free to subscribe. There is a playlist, so you can see the episodes that you might have missed. You can also find links to Discord and Patreon. You know, those people that have been on the screen for like, what, 10 minutes now? You can become one of them. Because, you know, sometimes they do that without thinking. That was more coal than I meant to give you. Oops. Oh well. I did not mean to do that. It is what it is, though. I need to get a Fletcher. Because so many sticks. With that, I'll see you all next time. See you later.